Hi, so this video is on derivatives and it's on trig functions, and it's part 2 of a series. So in this video we're going to be working with f of x, which is equal to x squared times sine of x, and the second problem we're going to do is f of x is equal to cosecant x plus e to the x times cosine x, and then the last one we're going to do is f of x is equal to e to the x times sine x plus some constant c times x. So let's get started right at these, and let's do the first one. So number 1. So here we have f of x is equal to x squared times sine of x. So when we're doing this one, we're gonna use the product rule, which is multiply two functions, and you want to take the derivative of them. You're going to do f times g plus f times g. You're going to take the derivative of the first one and the derivative of the last one. So for me, my f is going to be equal to x squared, and my g is going to be equal to sine of x. So let's plug those in. So we're going to get x squared times sine of x plus x squared times sine of x. We're going to take the derivative of the first one and the derivative of the last one. So here, when I take the derivative of the first one, I'm going to get 2x times sine of x plus, and here we just bring this down to get x squared times, now the derivative of sine of x is just cosine, so we're going to get cosine x, and that's it. So the derivative, I'll just write it here, the derivative of f of x is just equal to 2x times sine of x plus x squared times cosine x. Yeah, okay, so let's scroll down a bit. Let's do the second problem. So number 2. So for number 2 we have f of x is equal to cosecant x plus e to the x of cosine x. Okay, so let's do this one. So here, this is just straightforward. We just have to take the derivative of this. But here we're going to use the product rule again. So the derivative of cosecant of x is a funky one. It's, let's say here, let's say the derivative of f of x. The derivative of this one, cosecant x, is equal to negative cosecant of x times cotangent of x. And now this part is done. Now I just need to move on to this part, and here my f is going to be equal to e to the x, and I'm going to call my g cosine of x. So when you're doing these, you just do the f times g plus f times g, derivative of the first one, derivative of the last one. So I'm going to plug that in, so e to the x times cosine x, derivative on the e to the x, plus e to the x times cosine x, take the derivative of that. So the derivative of e to the x is just e to the x, and then because of the chain rule, you bring this x down and you do the derivative of that, but that's just going to be 1. So for that, since that's just 1, you're just going to get e to the x times cosine x. Now let's do the second part. So now we just bring down the e to the x. The derivative of cosine of x is just negative sine of x. So negative sine of x. So this is equal to negative e to the x sine of x. And then let's bring down this last part over here to finish off writing it. So it's going to be negative cosecant x times cotangent of x plus e to the x times cosine of x minus e to the x sine of x. And that is how you do that one. Let's do number 3 now. Scroll down a bit more. You have enough space. So now for number 3. Number 3 was f of x is equal to e to the x sine of x plus c of x. So for here, again, product rule that we need to use. So my f is going to be e to the x, and my g is going to be equal to sine of x plus c of x. So here, so we're going to do e to the x times sine x plus cx, derivative on the first one, plus e to the x times sine x plus c to the x, derivative on the second one. So when you do the derivative of e to the x, you're just going to get e to the x. And when you do the chain rule on the x, you're just going to get 1, so I'm not even going to bother to write that down. We did that in the previous one, so for this part of the equation, you're going to get e to the x times sine x plus cx. And that part's done. And now over here, we're taking the derivative on this part. So I'm just going to bring down the e to the x. Now derivative of sine is just cosine. So let's write that down. Cosine of x. When you take the derivative of a constant, well, you're going to take the derivative of the x, and that's just going to be 1, and the constant will just stay there. So we're just going to get plus c. And so that's pretty much it. I mean, you could further reduce this, but yeah, it depends on how much your teacher wants you to reduce it. You can't really reduce it too much further. So you could reduce it to this, and then beyond this is just a hassle. So sine of x plus cosine of x plus c of x plus c. And all that is, I just brought the c right there, cx right there, the cosine x there, the sine of x there. And that's how you do these problems. Okay, so I hope these problems helped you out, and good luck in your classes. And look out for the next videos. The next ones will be on using the quotient rule with trig functions. So alright, see you guys later.